Millions of Americans are currently saddled with more than $1 trillion in student loan debt. Of course, it is an uphill battle that so many people fight right here in the Mid-South, and they experience that problem every day.
A lot of pain. So in 2017, two Memphians decided to do something about that to help students, those graduates, eliminate that debt. Ross Hornish and Mendelson developed Buy Student Loan Debt. Perfect name for a company.
I'd
it's
say
a website too. They're here to explain how their website, book, and other services help you wave goodbye to the problem. And you actually lived this, right? This sprouted from your ability to help your wife pay off debt. Was it you or you?
So I met my wife in Rochester, and between the two of us, we had 14 years of secondary education.
Wow.
We did 2 master's degrees, both of us.
How much
and
debt
we racked
was that?
up about $150,000 of student loans.
Did you ever think early on you would get through it, that you would pay for it, pay it off one of these days? What is that? What's the feeling like?
I have to be honest, the vast majority was her debt. and then I met her, and then it became our debt. And
True love.
Boy, that's some kind of love, yeah.
Early on, we weren't necessarily confident we could do it,
right.
But we created a plan, which we've outlined in the book, stuck with it, and we persevered.
Yeah, and how long did it take you?
So when we met, we decided over a 5-year plan we wanted to get married, buy a house, and get rid of this $150,000 debt.
And you met that deadline?
And we met that goal. And so we wrote this book, and I partnered with Ross to create a company to try and help the 45 million other students that have similar situations.
So Ross, what about it? Can it be done? Because a lot of folks, especially right here, as we said earlier, in the Memphis area, the Mid-South, have this problem.
Yes, we're very aware of that. Myself, as soon as I was helping out with the book, helped to edit it, helped to make the website, it was funny, as you're reading through it, you're like, oh, I really need to do this myself. So as I've been going through it, it's one of those things that the initial start of it is really the hardest part. So if I ask students out there, are you willing to get paid $4,000 for 2 hours on a Saturday, once every month? Would you do that? You'd probably say yes. So that's, in my case, that's what happened.
Because when you eliminate the debt, you have that amount.
Just through the steps in the process, being able to consolidate, setting a budget, paying extra.
It sounds so simple, but most people don't do it without that extra push or someone showing how. Showing you how? Have you found that?
Yeah, when we started this company, what was most surprising was how little education there is on student loan debt. You know, I went through 18 years of up until 17, 18, I never took a financial literacy class. So there's a lot of information on student loans. There's a lot of banks that are willing to consolidate your loans and make money off of your loans. There's very little to actually show you a simple process on how to do it, and that's why we wrote the book.
And of course, a lot of us depend on our parents to help say, maybe you need to do this, maybe you need to do that as well, but a lot of them may not know either. I mean, what are you guys finding?
Yeah, so I was very fortunate. My father is very financially minded, and he taught me a lot of the principles that I've outlined here in this book. But what we found is that there's a ton of student loan borrowers with problems. There's over $1.5 trillion of student loan debt. The only thing that's a bigger problem is mortgage debt in the U.S.
Yeah, because a lot of folks who are parents of this generation didn't have student debt because college was not as expensive. I mean, I was able to work part-time and pay for mine as I went. And that you can't, it's hard to do now. So would this work for other kinds of debt as well? I mean, is it simple enough for, because there's, you know, folks who have credit card debt, for instance.
Yeah, and the process that we put in this book is transferable to all types of debt.
Is there anything unique about student loan debt in particular that makes it a little tougher?
There's a lot of different things that are unique. Firstly, if you have a federal government loan, it's potentially a little bit tricky to consolidate into a private loan and reduce your interest rates. Whereas other types of debt, it's very easy to do that. There are a lot of benefits actually of federal loans. So there's public student loan forgiveness, where depending on your career, you can get all of your loans forgiven. There's income-based repayment options. There's a lot of different creative
but people don't know about them.
Exactly.
Looking into your crystal ball, though, do you think the problem will only get worse, or do you think it will become a little bit more simple in the future? What are you seeing there? What are your hopes?
Yeah, I think unfortunately it is going to continue to rise. You've seen tuitions continue to increase, and people's debt continue to dramatically increase at a greater rate than really any other type of debt in America. However, I think there can be a lot of solutions that's done on an individual basis to curb this problem. And similar to other debts in the past we've seen in America's history, it's had ebbs and flows, and I think eventually, as a country and as individuals, we can overcome these individual debt issues.
All right, Ross, last word is yours. You enjoying that $4,000 a month raise?
I am. So we're going to have a lot of updates coming up. We're going to have an audiobook. We're going to have updates to our website and a rebrand, so be on the lookout for more to come.
We'll link to the website.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right.